Look at me. This is not entertainment. This is training. My real love is people like you who believe this is for you. If I had announced a miracle service, this room would be overflowing. But I announce responsibility and the crowd thins. That's good. Crowds want bread. Leaders want blueprints. Write this down. We will think, we will speak, and then we will act. This is a construction site for culture, not a concert. You are not an accident. You are an assignment. Say it with me. Loud enough to rebuke the doubt lodged in your chest. I am not an accident. I am an assignment to my street, my office, my city. Again, I am not an accident. I am an assignment to my street, my office, my city. If that sounds foreign to you, it's because your culture has done an excellent job canceling who you are. Tonight we repossess your identity. Let us go to the manufacturer's mandate. Genesis 1:26, read it. Then God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion. Not survival, dominion. The Hebrew for man is ish species, not male. And the word for dominion is rad royal rule, governing influence. That verse is not a religious verse, it's a release form. Your origin is image, your assignment is influence. You were designed to lead by nature, not by a title. True leadership is self-discovery. You will never become a true leader until you are introduced to yourself. Write this down. Culture answers who we are. Dominion answers why we are here. Culture is identity institutionalized. Dominion is purpose applied. The problem is, most of you have been prisoners of a culture of survival. Eat, pay bills, die. So you never ask why you were sent to that block, that office, that classroom, that clinic. You think you live where you can afford. Heaven says you live where you are assigned. Psalm 115:16 declares, the heaven, even the heavens are the Lord's, but the earth he has given to the children of men. That means earth's neighborhoods are waiting on your stewardship. You keep asking God to fix the street. He gave you authority to govern. How do I shift a community without a microphone or a title? That's the wrong question. A title is an announcement. Identity is an assignment. Influence without a mic is normal in the kingdom because influence is fruit, not volume. Proverbs 23:7 says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Leadership is 80% mentality and 20% skill. If you enter your block as a spectator, you will collect stories and excuses. If you enter as an assignment, you will create standards and ecosystems. Write this down. Your street is your studio. Your office is your embassy. Your kitchen table is your boardroom. You don't need a platform to lead. You need a premise, image, and dominion. I was born in a place where roaches attended our family meetings. We slept on the floor. But I learned early that my environment was not my identity, and my identity was my assignment. When I discovered my work, the thing I was born to do, people began to find me. Your job is what they pay you to do. Your work is what you were born to do. If they fire you, your job stays. Your gift goes with you. And wherever your gift goes, your authority follows. Ephesians 2:10 says, we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand. Before you showed up on that street, a blueprint was delivered with your name on it. Say it again. Like a decree that serves an eviction notice to passivity. I am not an accident. I am an assignment to my street, my office, my city. Good. Now, assignments demand posture. Spectators watch problems. Leaders define patterns. Spectators comment on headlines. Leaders install habits. Write this down. Culture is a system of beliefs, behaviors, and norms that produce predictable outcomes. If you don't like the outcomes on your block, don't curse the people. Confront the code. And you begin by correcting the code in you. Nothing shifts around you until something shifts within you. Let me ask a question. In a car, who is the leader? Is it the engine, the battery, the $4 terminal wire? Who's the leader? No one. And everyone, each part leads in its function. That's kingdom leadership. Distributed, functional, not rank responsibility. You don't need to be the engine. Be the wire that reconnects what's dead to what's alive. A $4 wire can resurrect a city. That's you. assigned to one desk, one block, one lunch table, one WhatsApp group. Stop waiting for stages. Steward your station. Jeremiah 1:5. God speaks to a timid young man. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you a prophet to the nations. Appointed before born. Assigned before announced. That means your geography is not random. It's prophetic. The bus stop you walk past is an altar in disguise. The receptionist's desk you occupy is a gate. Gates regulate what enters and exits. Write this down. I am a gate in the place of my assignment. Gates don't entertain. Gates enforce. Let me confront you with love. Some of you have been praying for your city while avoiding your street. Religious people love the idea of impact and hate the discipline of involvement. Jesus didn't entrust himself to crowds. He trained a few and sent them. The kingdom advances not by noise, but by nature, by values embedded, habits repeated, standards enforced. That is what we are doing here. This is a boot camp for your belief system and a workshop for your world. If you came to spectate, you will be offended. If you came to be sent, you will be deployed. So here is our starting contract. Say it with me. I accept my assignment. I occupy my station. I will install kingdom culture beginning with me. Write this down. Identity precedes strategy. Strategy sustains identity. We will not rush to tactics without repairing the root. Over the next sessions, I will show you how to build micro ecosystems that carry kingdom values into every corner of your life until those values become the new normal. But the hinge is this. Influence begins when you accept that you are sent, not seated. Lift your right hand. Decree this like a governor, not a beggar. I am made in his image. I carry his likeness. I am sent with dominion. My street is my stewardship. My office is my territory. My city is my responsibility. Now breathe. Feel that? That is the weight of royal assignment settling on your shoulders. Wear it. Don't apologize for it. Do not ask permission to be who you were created to be. You are not an accident. You are an assignment. And tonight, class has begun. Now that you've accepted your assignment, we must find the switch that ignites it. Write this down. Leadership is born when toleration ends. Say it with me. Leadership is born when toleration ends. Again, louder than your excuses. Leadership is born when toleration ends. Whatever you tolerate, you will never change. Whatever you explain away, you authorize to stay. Some of you have been negotiating with what you should be evicting. Let's define our posture in one decree. Say it with me. I don't complain about culture, I build culture. Again, I don't complain about culture, I build culture. One more time for your street to hear it. I don't complain about culture, I build culture. Complaining is not discernment, it is consent. Write this down. Complaining is consent. When you complain without constructing, you become the microphone of the very dysfunction you say you hate. You amplify it. You normalize it. You disciple people into hopelessness with your words. Let me press your religion. Prayer without planning becomes procrastination. I love prayer. I live by prayer. But James 2:17 says, faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. Dead faith doesn't move walls. It memorializes them. Nehemiah prayed and then asked for permits, timber, and time. He inspected the walls at night, drew a plan, assigned gates, set standards, and the culture of rubble became a culture of rebuilding. Read Nehemiah 2:17-1-8. You see the trouble we are in. Come, let us rebuild. And they replied, let us rise up and build. Prayer aimed the heart. Planning moved the stones. Write this down. You cannot shift what you excuse. Stop excusing what you're called to rebuild. Case study. She had no microphone, no title, no parade, just a conviction. Rosa Parks decided that day that toleration had expired. One seat, not a sermon, not a conference, a seat. Her refusal confronted a system and catalyzed a culture shift in transit. She didn't ask, who will let me? She decided, who will stop me from being human? That's cultural leadership, birth without pulpit. Authority without announcement. The ignition was intolerance for injustice. Let's come closer to your house. In a car, a $4 terminal wire can shut the whole machine down. One tiny cable, tolerated as it's just loose, becomes a highway hazard. In a community, one tolerated habit, chronic lateness, gossip at the lunch table, trash on the sidewalk, becomes policy. Write this down. What you step over, you install. If you keep stepping over trash, you pass the law. Trash is welcome. If you keep laughing at belittling jokes, you pass the law. Honor is optional. If you keep accepting excuses from yourself, you pass the law. Excellence is negotiable. Leaders do not step over. Leaders stop and reset. Romans 12:2 says, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove, not debate, prove. Culture shifts when you prove a better normal. Salt does not complain about the meat. Salt dissolves and preserves. Jesus said, you are the salt of the earth. You are the light of the world. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works. Matthew 5:13-16. See, works. Culture is not impressed by our wishes. It is converted by our works. Let me ask you a question. How long will you tolerate what insults your assignment? David walked into a battlefield of professionals, titles everywhere, and heard a culture of fear. He asked, is there not a cause? 1 Samuel 17:29. No mic, no armor. A shepherd boy with a standard. I don't tolerate defiance against the purposes of God. When toleration ended in one young man, a nation's posture shifted. Write this down. One standard held consistently will embarrass 1,000 excuses. Some of you are professional thermometers, accurate readers of dysfunction. You can measure gossip, laziness, corruption, fear. Good. But leaders are thermostats. We set the temperature and hold it until the room obeys. Say it with me. I set the temperature. I don't read the room. I lead the room. Stop curating dysfunction with eloquent analysis and start curtailing it with enforced standards. Set office hours and keep them. Pick up the trash and install bins. Ban gossip at your table and reward candor with grace. These are not small acts. They are legislative acts. You are a gate. Gates don't entertain. Gates enforce. Write this down. If you tolerate it in you, you will export it through you. Do not ask your team for what you excuse in your calendar. Do not demand honor while you cultivate sarcasm. Leaders birth culture by personal law. Start with the mirror. Then the micro ecosystem of your kitchen, your inbox, your shift, your block. The kingdom works like yeast. Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is like leaven, which a woman took and hid in 3 measures of meal till it was all leaven. Matthew 13:33. Leaven does not argue with dough. It infiltrates until resistance is impossible. That's culture. Values embedded, habits repeated, standards enforced. I'm going to give you a holy assignment. Identify one dysfunction you've been tolerating in your sphere. Not 10, 1. By tomorrow, convert your complaint into a standard. Your ought to into an operating procedure. Write it, post it. Announce it kindly. Enforce it firmly. Measure it weekly. As for this table, we do honor. As for this team, we start on time. As for this hallway, it stays clean. Stop hosting what you're called to heal. Stop excusing what you were born to rebuild. Say it with me. As a decree that rewires your reflexes. I don't complain about culture. I build culture. I refuse toleration. I enforce transformation. Leadership is born when my toleration ends. Again, leadership is born when my toleration ends. Now, stand up on the inside. The ignition switch is in your hand. Turn it. Refuse. Reset. Rebuild. The room, your room will obey. Now that you've turned ignition ending what you will no longer tolerate, we must lift the hood. Write this down. Nothing you see in your neighborhood is accidental. It is engineered. The engineer is not a person. It is a pattern. And that pattern has a name. Culture. What is culture? It is the composite system of shared beliefs. What we think is true, values. What we believe is important, language, how we name reality. Laws, how we codify and enforce. Rituals, how we rehearse. Habits, what we repeat. Symbols and stories, what we signal and remember over time until abnormal becomes normal and normal becomes sacred. That is culture. The invisible engine that steers a city without a public vote. Who is the leader of an engine? Is it the piston, the camshaft, the spark plug, the oil pump, the $4 terminal wire? Who's the leader? No one. And everyone, every part leads in its function, and the whole moves the car. Culture is that integrated system. You can have fresh fuel, vision, passion, money, but if a tiny belt is broken, you're stranded on the shoulder. A city is the same. One tolerated habit, one silent belief, one casual ritual, repeated and blessed by time, can stall a society. Write this down. Culture is leadership distributed through norms. Jesus warned us how powerful culture is. Read Mark 7:13. You make the word of God of no effect through your tradition. Not demons, tradition. That means a culture can cancel truth. Another verse. Do not be conformed to this world, cosmos system, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. Mind first, system next. Culture is the invisible mold, pressing people into predictable shapes. If you don't break the mold in you, you will mass produce what you despise around you. Let me give you a working definition. Write this down. Culture is the subconscious of a people. It makes decisions before we think. Proverbs 4:23 says, guard your heart, for out of it flow the issues of life. Heart in Scripture is not your emotions. It is the subconscious, the hard drive. Your personal heart becomes the communal heart when enough people share the same files. That is why entire office floors just do it that way without memos. That's why families repeat poverty with fresh paychecks. That's why neighborhoods inherit fear they never voted for. The subconscious of a people chooses before the people wake up. Let me prove it with roads. Two instruments in your car talk about speed. The speedometer tells you capacity. The speed limit sign tells you permission. Most of you are driven by permission, not capacity. Your car says 220. Your sign says 45. You obey the sign even on an empty road because you internalize a governor culture, set your mental speed limit. In some of your houses, the sign reads, we don't start on time. It's just us. In your department, the sign says feedback is dangerous. Flatter to survive. In your neighborhood, the sign says trash belongs to no one. So it belongs everywhere. Those are limits posted by culture. Your potential is the speedometer. Your culture is the sign. Write this down. Your environment's limits will become your heart's limits if you don't renew your mind. Israel came out of Egypt in a day, but Egypt came out of Israel over 40 years. Why? Culture. Delivered, but not free. Their feet left the place. Their heart kept the menu. We remember the onions and garlic. Numbers 11-5. They built a golden calf because idolatry was the ritual that felt normal. Write this down. What feels normal will feel right until you retrain what right feels like. That's why some of you defend lateness as personality and gossip as therapy. It feels normal. That's culture discipling you. Say it with me. I will become conscious of the engine I'm inside. Again, louder than your inherited reflexes. I will become conscious of the engine I'm inside. You cannot change what you refuse to see. Blindness is not lack of eyes, it's lack of vision. Jesus said, if the blind lead the blind, both will fall into a ditch, Matthew 15:14. A ditch is a cultural outcome. You don't get there by accident. You get there by following a system with no destination except down. Don't be impressed with horsepower. Ask, where are we going? Don't be impressed with volume. Ask, what values are steering this? Let me map the parts so you can hear the engine. Beliefs. God is distant or present. People are valuable or usable. Time is seed or sand. Values. Excellence or good enough. Honor or sarcasm. Savings or impulse. Language. Do you call people customers or transactions? Students or kids? Naming directs behavior, laws, written and unwritten. Do we start on time? Do we return calls? Do we clean what we touch? Rituals, morning huddles, weekly meals, Friday debriefs, habits, reading, planning, punctuality, rest, symbols, clean desks, open doors, trash bins with lids, signage that says we begin at excellence. Stories. Remember when she stood up for the intern and it changed our policy? These parts humming together pull a city toward dignity or decay. Write this down. Culture is the machinery that produces your Monday. Now I will confront you. Some of you pray in tongues at dawn and curse your team with your tongue at noon. That's dual transmission. You ask God for harvest while you salt the soil with cynicism. 1 Corinthians 15:33 warns, bad company corrupts good character. Company is not just people, it's the habits they carry. If you keep company with a culture of low dignity, lateness, blaming, shoddy work, you will be discipled by negligence. Stop romanticizing what is discipling you to fail. Who's the leader in your block? No one. And everyone. The engine is steering. The lady who sweeps the sidewalk at 6 a.m. is leading. The shop manager who smiles and returns change with both hands is leading. The father who says, in this house, we say please and thank you, is leading. The teenager who refuses a bribe is leading. Each part in function contributes torque to a new direction. Don't wait for a mayor to change what your breakfast table keeps legalizing. Doctor, how do I know the engine I'm inside? Audit the outcomes. You don't need a prophecy. Read the fruit. Jesus said, you will know them by their fruits. Matthew 7:16. If your office produces fear, the engine is mistrust. If your street produces litter, the engine is apathy. If your team produces excuses, the engine is low standards. Write this down. Outcomes are reports from your culture. Stop arguing with the report. Rewrite the code. Hear me. Culture is not changed by events. It is changed by environments. One conference inspires. Daily practices rewire. That's why God told Israel to bind the words on their hands, put them on their doorposts, teach them when they sit and when they rise. Deuteronomy 6:7-9. Ritual, symbol, repetition. Heaven understands culture. Do you? Lift your voice with me. I will become conscious of the engine I'm inside. I will not be a passenger. I am part of the machinery. Write this down. Change the system and the city turns. Don't curse the darkness. Change the wiring. Don't idolize the engine you were born into. Service it. Upgrade it. Replace the parts that stall it. You are not here to admire how it runs. You are here to tune it to kingdom. And once you hear it, you can heal it. We lifted the hood. Now we open the manufacturer's manual. Write this down. The kingdom does not advance by noise. It advances by nature. Heaven colonizes earth by values. Not by violence, by standards, not slogans, by service, not shouting. Genesis 1:26 declares, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion. The Hebrew word there is rada, to rule, to govern, to bring order. Not to oppress people, but to order environments. God never gave man dominion over people. Read the text. Fish of the sea, birds of the air, every creeping thing, the earth. Rule things. Serve people. That's the kingdom pattern. Write this down. Dominion is stewardship of order. Tyranny is violation of image. Vision is more important than leadership. Write that down. Vision is more important than leadership. Why? Because culture is sustained vision in practice. Proverbs 29:18 says, where there is no vision, the people cast off restraint. Leadership without vision becomes management of dysfunction. Vision gives restraint, standards, rituals. When you see what heaven wants, you can install what daily life must become. Culture is the visible clothing of invisible vision. You don't change a city by yelling at it, you clothe it with a superior normal. Jesus did not come to start a religion. He came declaring a country. Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Matthew 4:17. Kingdom, government, culture. Luke 4:43, read it. I must preach the good news of the kingdom of God to the other towns also. because that is why I was sent. He preached culture, values, and order more than ceremonies. He possessed no office, yet carried ultimate influence. No title in the Sanhedrin. No seat in Caesar's court. But he built a culture cell with fishermen, tax collectors, zealots, and women of means, and he installed values until they became the reflex of a people. Honor the least, wash feet, forgive enemies, bless those who curse, keep your word, serve with excellence, steward resources, protect the weak, tell the truth. Write this down. Jesus discipled culture before he ever organized structures. Structures follow standards. Let me show you heaven's colonization model. Rome understood it. That's why the Holy Spirit uses Roman words. Philippi was a Roman colony. The goal was not to bring Rome back to Philippi, but to make Philippi look like Rome without Caesar ever visiting. How? Law, language, attire, architecture, calendars, holidays, rituals, embedded until this is how we do it, felt natural. The kingdom uses the same principle. Redeemed. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Matthew 6:10. That is not a poem. It is a colonization mandate. We are sent to make streets, teams, and tables look like heaven without waiting for a crusade. Write this down. Kingdom influence advances by installing values into environments until they become the new normal. Who does this? Ambassadors. 2 Corinthians 5:20 says, we are ambassadors for Christ. Ambassadors do not scream. They don't need local permission to be who they are. They represent a government. They carry policy, language, decorum, standards. They don't absorb the host culture. They present the sending culture. The embassy lawn is cut to the laws of the sending nation, even if the host capital is drowning in weeds. That's you on your block. Your desk is an embassy. Your body is an embassy. Your words are policy statements. Say it with me. I am a cultural ambassador. My values are my strategy. Again, I am a cultural ambassador. My values are my strategy. Write this down. Values are portable governments. You can smuggle them into any room. Titles can be denied. Values cannot be stopped. You bring honor, and the room's sarcasm feels awkward. You bring excellence, and mediocrity gets exposed. You bring punctuality, and chaos loses its excuse. You bring generosity, and greed's volume lowers. The kingdom does not overpower, it outperforms. It does not complain, it compels by fruit. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father. Matthew 5:16. See, works, glory. That is culture colonization. Let me confront you. Some of you are trying to command rooms you have not converted with values. You want the microphone, heaven wants your Monday. You are posting slogans while your habits betray you. Write this down. Slogans without standards are lies we tell ourselves to feel noble. Jesus never printed a flyer, we wash feet. He washed feet. Then he said, do you understand what I have done for you? Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. John 13:12. 1:4. Value installed. Ritual modeled. Culture seated. He could rebuke Pharisees without office because his fruit outranked their titles. Back to Genesis. Image and likeness, selim and demute, source and template, dominion radar, governed by order, subdue, kabosh, bring under cultivation. Eden was a prototype, an ordered environment. God planted a garden and put the man there to work it and to keep it. Genesis 2:15. Work to cultivate potential. Keep to protect standards. Write this down. Cultivate and protect. That's culture. Our assignment is not to escape earth. It is to extend Eden. Every clean desk, every fair price, every punctual meeting, every honest report, every lifted standard is a square foot of Eden reclaimed. Who's the leader in this? No one. And everyone. The ambassador in the classroom sets language. The ambassador in the clinic enforces dignity. The ambassador in the taxi installs courtesy. The ambassador in the boardroom normalizes accountability. When enough ambassadors hold the values, the colony becomes the culture. Salt doesn't argue with meat, It dissolves and preserves. Leaven doesn't debate with dough. It infiltrates until resistance is impossible. That's the kingdom's genius. Nonviolent takeover by daily virtue. Vision first. Write this down. Vision defines values. Values design rituals. Rituals deliver culture. You cannot sustain what you have not envisioned. Where are you taking your table, your team, your street? If you cannot answer in sentences, your environment will answer with substitutes. Heaven's vision is clear. Righteousness, peace, and joy in the Holy Spirit. Romans 14:17. Righteousness, right order. Peace, nothing missing, nothing broken. Joy, the energy of alignment. So our values must reflect right order, wholeness, and glad duty. That is why excellence is not pride, it is righteousness applied to tasks. That is why courtesy is not old-fashioned, it is honor made visible. Let me make this practical without stealing the next session. Write this down. Begin with a value charter. 5 non-negotiables you will live and legislate wherever your feet are. Example: honor, excellence, truth, diligence, generosity. Write them. Define them in 1 sentence each. Attach 1 ritual to each. Honor: we greet by name and look in the eyes. Excellence: we start and end on time. Truth: we correct in private, praise in public. Diligence: we plan today, debrief Friday. Generosity: we bring more than we take. These are not decorations, they are colonization tools. Say it again. Like an ambassador reading credentials at the city gate. I am a cultural ambassador. My values are my strategy. I don't need a mic. My fruit is my authority. My standards are my legislation. My rituals are my enforcement. Write this down. Start with culture. If you start with events, you'll have noise with no nature. If you start with culture, you'll have nature that needs no noise. Jesus turned the world with towels and tables, not platforms and posters. He took 12 installed values, sent them 2 by 2, and the report came back. These who have turned the world upside down have come here also. Acts 17:6. Upside down to you, right side up to heaven. Lift your right hand. Decree. Vision over vanity. Values over volume. Service over slogans. I am sent to colonize by culture. I will install kingdom values until they become the new normal. Now write it on your heart and your calendar. The colony starts where you sit. Now that you have a value charter, we must address the first colony you are responsible to govern. Write this down. My mind is my first mission field. Say it with me. My mind is my first mission field. Again, like an ambassador inspecting the embassy within. My mind is my first mission field. Proverbs 23:7. Read it out loud in your spirit. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Not as he thinks in his head. Heart, the subconscious, the governor, the hard drive. Leadership is 80% mentality and 20% skill. Write that down. I can give you strategies, calendars, posters, and an app. But if your heart carries a limit, your hands will obey the limit. Attitude governs altitude. You don't rise to your talents, you sink to your belief. The lion taught me that. When a lion sees an elephant, his eyes report data. That's a giant. But his belief interprets the data. That's lunch. The elephant sees a cat. His eyes report small predator. His belief translates death is here. Write this down. The lion's advantage is attitude, not size. Your eyes can see an obstacle. Your belief can reframe it as an opportunity. Your eyes can see corruption. Your belief can translate it into a calling. Culture programs, either courage or compliance. Which curriculum have you been attending? I want to shake you free from cultural hypnosis. Some of you have encyclopedias of excuses in your heart. Where I'm from, we don't start on time. In our office, nobody reads. In our neighborhood, excellence is bougie. That's not humility, that's a governor. You've been discipled by a speed limit. Write this down. Culture sets your mental speed limit. Kingdom renews it. Romans 12:2. Again, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Not the removing of your enemies, not the replacing of your boss. Renew your mind, and your world will have to make room. Let me tell you the day my governor broke. I was in Germany. The driver looked at me and smiled. We approached a sign with a red line through the number end of restriction. He said, "This is the Autobahn." I glanced at the dashboard, 220 kilometers per hour capacity. But my brain said, be reasonable. 80, maybe 100. He pressed 120. The car was not shaking. My heart was 140. My hands tightened. 160. Then 170. And I realized something profound. There was life after 170. The fear wasn't in the engine, it was in my head. The road was built for it. The car was built for it. Only my belief was not. Write this down. Mindset is the governor, not the economy, not your skin, not your manager. Your governor determines your gate. Some of you are driving a 220 capacity life at 45 because the sign your granddaddy's pain posted is still nailed to your heart. We don't ask for raises. No one in this family goes to college. Our people don't do mornings. If you do excellent work, they'll call you a sellout. That is not culture. That is captivity wearing familiarity. Jesus walked into Nazareth, his hometown, full of power, and he could not do many mighty works there because of their unbelief. Matthew 13:58. Not because of demons, unbelief. The hometown posted a sign. We know him. Their sign governed his access. What signs have you posted that block heaven's work in your life? Gideon is my brother in this. Judges 6. Hiding in a wine press, threshing wheat in fear. The angel appears. The Lord is with you, mighty man of valor. Mighty? In a pit? God spoke to the speedometer, not the sign. Gideon argued with his culture. My clan is the weakest. I am the least. That's what the sign said. But heaven replied, go in this your might. Write this down. God announces identity to overthrow your internal sign. Say it with me. I agree with heaven. I will not argue for my limits. Let me be a father for a moment. Stop blaming what you built. You installed the governor with your words. I'm just not a reader. So your mind obeys and refuses books. I'm not a morning person. So your day starts late and excellence rushes. People like us never get ahead, so opportunities feel like scams. I hate meetings. So debriefs die and learning bleeds out. Write this down. Your language is the wrench that tightens the governor. Change your words, you loosen the lock. How do we renew the governor? Scripture gives you a mechanic's manual. Ephesians 4:23. Be renewed in the spirit of your mind. Not just thoughts, the spirit of it. The atmosphere, the deep beliefs. 2 Corinthians 10:5. Take every thought captive to make it obedient to Christ. Arrest rogue signs. Remove them. Replace them. Practically, one, replace the playlist. Faith comes by hearing. Romans 10:17. If all you hear is complaint radio, your belief will obey. 2, replace the picture. Vision writes on the heart. Put righteous images before you, clean neighborhoods, punctual teams, excellent reports, reconciled families until your heart calls them normal. 3, replace the pronouns. Stop saying they, say we. We start on time. We tell the truth. We plan. We debrief. We bring more than we take. 4, replace the ritual. Install a morning mind setter. Read, declare, plan, move. Even 10 minutes of ordered ritual begins to colonize your heart. Say it with me. Strong. My mind is my first mission field. Again. My mind is my first mission field. Write this down. If you don't upgrade your heart, you will sabotage your habits. Many of you started value charters and then quit by Wednesday because an old sign screamed, this is too much. That wasn't fatigue. That was familiarity, fighting for survival. Normal fights new. Don't negotiate with old normal. Evict it. Let me give you one courageous exercise this week. Identify one posted limit in your heart. 1, write it on paper like a law. In my world, nobody reads. Then write heaven's counter law. I am a leader. I am a reader. I feast on wisdom daily. Attach a ritual. 10 pages each dawn. Measure it. When your heart screams, smile and say, there is life after 170. Get in the car, press the pedal, hold the line. After 1 week, your soul will discover a new normal. Who's the leader of your mind? No one. And everyone, every input leads, every word leads, every ritual leads. Decide today that only kingdom inputs get the steering wheel. Because before you shift your street, you must shift your soul. Before you post a standard on the wall, you must carve it on the heart. Say it with me. Culture set my limits. The kingdom renews them. Again, culture set my limits. The kingdom renews them. Loud, like a man or woman who just tore down a sign. My mind is my first mission field. I remove the governor. I agree with heaven. There is life after 170. And my neighborhood will feel the speed of my renewed mind. Your governor's coming off. Now shift the gear. Write this down. Belief must become fruit, or it will become frustration. Heaven did not renew your mind just to make you feel better. He renewed your mind to make you deliver better. Say it with me. My belief will become fruit. Again, my belief will become fruit. Now, here's the principle that will relocate you from the crowd to cultural authority. Your job is what they pay you to do. Your work is what you were born to do. Your employer can cancel your job. They cannot cancel your work. If they fire you, your gift goes with you. The question is not, do you have employment? The question is, are you deployed? Scripture's not confused about this. Proverbs 18:16, read it. A man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. Not a man's resume. Not a man's title. A man's gift. The Hebrew concept of gift is not a trinket. It is endowment, embedded capacity. Zerah, in Genesis 1:11, the seed with life within itself, reproducing after its kind. Write this down. Your gift is a seed. Your seed is a future in capsule form. Jesus said the kingdom is like a mustard seed, which, when planted, becomes a tree large enough for birds to nest in its branches. Matthew 13:31, 3:2. That's an ecosystem. One seed creates shade, shelter, food, and a microclimate. If you plant your gift daily, it will become an ecosystem people can live in. That's culture change from the ground up. Let me confront you with love. Some of you are loyal to your job description but unfaithful to your gift. You keep time cards with precision and bury your seed with excuses. You pray for influence and hide the very asset that buys it. Write this down. Culture changes when consistent value appears. Fruit attracts, titles don't. Jesus said you will know them by their fruits. Matthew 7:16. He didn't say you will know them by their flyers. Matthew 5:16 says, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father. See, works, glory. The path to influence is visibility of value. Fruit is the currency of authority. If you want the neighborhood to listen, serve them a harvest they can eat. Your job is external. Your work is internal. Ephesians 2:10 says, we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. There are prepared works waiting on your deployed gift. 1 Peter 4:10 commands. Each one should use whatever gift he has received to serve others, faithfully administering God's grace in its various forms. Greek calls those gifts charismata, grace, energized endowments. Write this down. Your gift is grace in a body. When you deploy it, people experience God disguised as your excellence. Doctor, what happens if my boss doesn't like me? If they fire you, your gift goes with you. Joseph's brothers sold him. Potiphar's wife lied on him, and a warden locked him, but his gift traveled. He interpreted dreams in a pit, in a house, in a prison, and finally in a palace. Genesis 41. His fruit outranked his fire. Daniel had an excellent spirit, and they could find no corruption in his work, so kings had to promote him even when enemies plotted Daniel 6-3-4. Write this down. Influence travels with fruit. Location can change. Deployment must not. Who's the leader in a movement of gifts? No one. And everyone. The teacher who opens a living room 3 afternoons a week for reading lab is leading. The barber who standardizes dignity, say your name, sit upright, yes ma'am, yes sir, is leading. The accountant who runs a free Saturday morning budgeting clinic at the community center is leading. The cook who serves a weekly pay what you can table, insisting on honor and order, is leading. They may never hold a microphone, but their fruit shapes behavior, language, and expectations. That's culture. Write this down. Deployment creates micro-kingdoms. Linked micro-kingdoms become normal. How do you deploy? You don't need permission. You need precision. First, identify your seed. What do you do with ease that serves others with excellence? Not what is popular. What produces fruit? Second, define your field. Who is the soil that responds best to your gift? Children? Single fathers? New hires? Shop owners? Third, plant with rhythm. Don't host an event. Create a ritual. Daily, weekly, predictable. Fruit respects calendars. Fourth, measure harvest. Souls lifted. Skills increased. Time saved. Cleanliness sustained. Conflict diminished. Revenue honest. Outcomes are reports from your culture. Fifth, protect the standard. Eden had walls. Your ecosystem needs boundaries. Start on time. End on time. No gossip. Clean as you go. Feedback Friday. Write this down. Consistent seed plus protected standard equals compounding fruit. Let me paint a case from my travels. A young woman, no title, kept getting reprimanded for overreaching in a chaotic office. She had a deployment gift. Order. She stopped fighting for a title and started serving fruit. Every morning at 8:45, she ran a 5-minute stand-up. One win, one priority, one roadblock. On the wall, she installed a visual workflow. She created a done right the first time checklist at the printer. In 60 days, missed deadlines dropped by 40%. The director asked, "Who authorized you?" She smiled. Excellence did. He moved her to project operations. Title followed fruit. Write this down. If you serve fruit long enough, even your critics will eat. Stop hiding behind, "That's not my job." Your job is what they pay you to do. Your work is what you were born to do. Your work may deliver beyond your job description. That's where promotion lives. Proverbs 22:29. Do you see a man skilled in his work? He will stand before kings. Skill is deployed gift under discipline. Kings don't summon potential, they summon proven fruit. Say with me, my gift buys me rooms, my resume can't. I need to unsettle a religious habit. Some of you are fasting for influence while starving your neighborhood of service. Faith without works is dead, James 2:17. Pray at dawn, deploy at 10. But I'm waiting on a platform. The towel is your platform. Wash feet, solve problems, shorten lines, translate forms, sweep sidewalks, teach reading, fix bicycles, tune resumes, design signage, coach greetings, install standards where you stand. Write this down. Stop applying for influence. Start delivering value daily. Let me give you a deployment drill. For the next 30 days, pick one gift and one field. Attach one ritual and one metric. Example, gift communication. Field youth on your block. Ritual story hour at 5 p.m. Monday to Thursday in the courtyard. Metric attendance. Reading aloud. Confidence. Prompt starts. Guard your standard. Post your values. Honor. Excellence. Truth. Diligence. Generosity. In week 2, add a second level parents. Debrief Fridays. In week 3, recruit one more ambassador. In week 4, document testimonies. At the end, the courtyard will feel different because your seed became shade. Lift your voice with me. Like a soldier receiving orders, I will deploy, not merely be employed. Again, with conviction that shakes off passivity. I will deploy, not merely be employed. Write this down. I am unemployable in destiny. I've been deployed by assignment. My paycheck is a receipt for past value. My authority is credit earned by consistent fruit. I will plant my gift until it becomes an ecosystem. I will protect the standard until excellence feels normal. I will measure fruit and let it speak for me. If they fire me, my gift goes with me. My influence travels with my fruit. This is how we turn streets and offices without a microphone. Seeds planted daily. Gifts served faithfully. Values enforced lovingly. Ecosystems multiplied quietly. No one and everyone. And the city would call it culture, when heaven has been normal for so long that no one remembers the crisis that used to be common. Now hear me. The movement you want is not waiting on a stage. It is waiting on your station. Write this down. Influence scales by cells, not stages. Say it again. Influence scales by cells, not stages. Who's the leader in the community engine? No one. And everyone in a car. The piston is not the steering wheel, yet without the piston the journey dies. A $4 terminal wire can silence a $70,000 machine. Importance is contextual. Leadership is functional. Everyone leads where they function. That's our strategy. Build micro ecosystems in 3 laboratories: home, work, and street, and then link them by shared values until this is how we do it becomes the neighborhood reflex. Home first. Write this down. Family is culture's first factory. Joshua said, "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." Joshua 24-15. Not as for me and my church. House. Deuteronomy 6 commands us to teach diligently to our children. When you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise. Deuteronomy 6-7. That's a daily ritual mandate. Culture is not what you announce. It's what you repeat. So install language standards. In your home lab, outlaw dishonor. We say please and thank you. We greet by name and with eyes. We do not shout across rooms. We approach. We do not label people. We describe behaviors. Proverbs 18:21 says life and death are in the power of the tongue. So legislate life at the dinner table. Create table rituals. Devices in the basket at the door. We start at the same time. First 5 minutes. Gratitude round. Each person names one grace. Next 10. Wisdom bite. Read a proverb. 1 verse, 1 question. How do we practice this tomorrow? Next 10. Preview and plan. Who needs what? Where are the shoes? What is excellence for the morning? Last 5. Assignment and blessing. Speak identity over each child. You are diligent. You are truthful. You are a leader. Write this down. The table is your embassy. Post an honor code on the fridge. We start on time. We clean as we go. We correct in private. We praise in public. We return borrowed items better than we receive them. 1 Corinthians 14:40 says, let all things be done decently and in order. If decency doesn't live at your table, don't export it to your town. Say it with me. My house is my first lab. Now, the work lab, Colossians 3:23, whatever you do, work heartily as unto the Lord. Excellence is liturgy. It is worship in a spreadsheet. It's praise in a schedule. So standardize time integrity. Meetings start on the dot and end 5 minutes early. If you arrive late, you apologize publicly. Create a problem first rhythm. Here's how we speak in the work lab. 1 sentence that states the problem, 2 data points that prove it, 1 proposed solution, and a clear ask. No complaining without a proposal. Post it on the wall. We bring solutions. We edit opinions. Install a daily 5-minute stand-up. 1 win, 1 priority, 1 roadblock. Put a visual workflow where everyone can see work in progress. Friday is Kaizen, 15 minutes to debrief, harvest lessons, and set 1 improvement for next week. Write this down. Excellence is predictable. Therefore, excellence is programmable. Institute small liturgies. Email subject tags for urgency. Response time standards. A done right the first time checklist on the printer. A cleanliness rule. Leave a station better than you found it. Honor in the hallway. We greet, we look up from screens, we say the person's name. Protect dignity. We correct in private, praise in public. And remember 1 Corinthians 12, many members, 1 body, from whom the whole body, joined and knit together by what every joint supplies. Ephesians 4:16. Every joint supplies. Who's the leader? No one. And everyone, the receptionist leads order at the front door. The analyst leads truth in the data. The supervisor leads courage in decisions. Titles are traffic lights. Fruit is the engine. Third, the street lab. Write this down. Stop blaming the mayor for what your mailbox can fix. Jeremiah 29:7 says, seek the peace of the city and pray to the Lord for it. For in its peace you will have peace. Pray and then practice. Step 1, map names. Learn the names of the 3 houses across and the 2 on each side. That's your 5-house rule. Post birthdays. No elders' medications. When names increase, crime decreases because honor has eyes. Step 2, safety micro routines. Porch lights on from 8:10 p.m. Walk and wave at 7:15 with 2 neighbors. Kids corridor. A trusted adult watches the bus stop. A second stands at the corner. Step 3, beautification cruise. Saturday morning, 20 minutes. Brooms, bags, and a standard. No litter in front of our 5 houses. Paint curved numbers. Rescue the tree beds. Put a small bulletin board on the fence. Standards of our street. We greet. We keep clean. We protect children. We start and end on time. We return lost items. Proverbs 11:11 says, by the blessing of the upright, the city is exalted. Your broom is a blessing. Your greeting is a blessing. Your porch light is a blessing. Let me give you a picture. Miss June, 73, with a blue broom, and Malik, age 12, with a dustpan, and Priya, a nurse, working nights, 3 ambassadors, no titles. They started a 20-minute Saturday sweep. Week 2, they added a chalk circle. Kids stood inside until the bus doors opened. Week 4, the graffiti artists joined and turned the traffic box into a mural that said, honor lives here. The fights at the stop died. Why? Because visible order invites dignity. Write this down. The street respects what the street sees. Now link the labs. Distributed leadership requires shared standards and simple signals. Same 5 values on your fridge, go on your desk and on the fence. Honor, excellence, truth, diligence, generosity. Same rituals, scaled. Table debrief becomes team debrief, becomes block huddle. Once a month, the home lab host, the work lab rep, and the street lab crew leader meet for 30 minutes. Agenda, report fruit, review 1 metric, recruit 1 more ambassador, and agree on 1 next standard. No budget required, just values and ritual. This is Acts 2 strategy, day by day, continuing with 1 mind in the temple and breaking bread from house to house. And the Lord added to their number daily, Acts 2:46, 4:7, house to house cells, daily rhythm, added fruit. Say it with me, lead in your lane and link with others. Tough love now. Stop outsourcing your responsibility to events. Stop asking HR to fix what your calendar can govern. Stop waiting on a microphone to do what a meal table can accomplish. Write this down. If you can't lead 6 chairs, you are not ready for 600. Luke 16:10. He who is faithful in what is least is faithful also in much. Faithfulness in cells is the audition for stages, not the other way around. So I commission your 3 labs this week. Home, install your table ritual and post your honor code. Work, institute the 5-minute stand-up and the problem first policy. Street, learn 5 names and host 1 20-minute sweep. Measure fruit. Minutes started on time. Names learned. Bags of trash collected. 1 improvement installed. Say it loud like ambassadors reporting to their king. I lead where I function. Again, I lead where I function. Who's the leader in our community engine? No one. And everyone, and when enough somebodies lead in their lanes and linked by shared values, a movement appears and the city will call it culture. Now we pull levers. Write this down. Consistent micro practices. Hardwire new beliefs into your environment faster than speeches. Culture is not changed by noise. It is changed by nudges repeated until normal shifts. James says, be doers of the word and not hearers only. James 1:22. So this week, 7 levers, not titles, not microphones, levers. Say it with me. We build here, again, louder, to evict passivity. We build here. Lever 1, language, ban complaint, adopt builder vocabulary. Proverbs 18:21 declares, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Your speech is a thermostat, not a thermometer. Write this down. No complaining without a proposal. In your labs, install a sentence. The problem is, the evidence is, my proposal is, I can lead, I need. Ephesians 4:29 commands, let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good for edifying. Every day this week, when someone begins a complaint, gently ask, what's your build? Then lead the room to say it with me. We build here. Post it where eyes collide with it on the fridge, on the wall, on the fence. Names and nouns shape norms. Speak like architects, not victims. Level 2, time. Start on time. End with next steps. Punctuality is a value transmitter. Ephesians 5:16 says, redeeming the time because the days are evil. You are not saving minutes. You are broadcasting honor. Write this down. We begin when we said, we end with who does what by when. 2-minute early rule. If you're on time, you're late. Visible clock. Alarms at 5 minutes to start. At the end, no vague, we'll see. Record, next steps, owner, deadline. Text it to the group. The spirit of delay breeds decay. The spirit of promptness feeds dignity. Teach your children that time is currency. Teach your team that time is covenant. Say it. We redeem time. Level 3, excellence. Default to quality, tidy spaces, clear emails, crisp meetings. Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, do it heartily, as to the Lord. Excellence is worship in visible form. Write this down. Excellence is predictable. Therefore, it is programmable. This week, install 3 standards. First, tidy spaces, 5-minute reset at the end of each session. Surfaces cleared, tools returned, floors checked. Second, clear emails, subject tags for urgency, action, info, do, 1 screen long, bullet points, deadline highlighted. Third, crisp meetings agenda with outcomes, start and end times honored, decisions recorded. 1 Corinthians 14:40 says, let all things be done decently and in order. Decency is not fancy. It is clear, clean, and consistent. Walk into your kitchen, your desk, your street corner. Does the floor tell the story of your values? Fix the floor. It will preach better than your flyer. Level 4, honor. Greet by name. Thank publicly. Correct privately. Romans 12:10. Honor one another above yourselves. Names restore faces to souls. Write this down. Honor stabilizes standards. In your labs, install the 5-second rule. Greet within 5 seconds of sight with eye contact and name. Good morning, Mrs. James. Thank you, Andre. Public gratitude calendars at the table, at the stand-up, at the fence. 1 shout-out per day. Corrections, private. A soft answer turns away wrath. Proverbs 15:1. Post honor scripts. In this house, we address behavior, not identity. On this team, we thank in public and we fix in private. Honor de-escalates chaos and makes order survivable. Say it with me. We honor by name. Level 5, service. Solve 1 recurring problem. Make a weekly fix-it ritual that becomes normal. Matthew 20:28. The Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve. Kingdom leaders carry towels, not thrones. This week, pick 1 irritant that repeats. The sticky door, the dusty stairwell, the confusing form, the late for school scramble, the messy copy room. Write this down. Choose 1. Schedule 30 minutes. Invite 1 neighbor. Document before and after. Friday is fix it. Same time. Same towel. Philippians 2-4 says, look not only to your own interests, but also to the interests of others. When service repeats, cynicism retreats. And your neighborhood will begin to say, these people solve things. That sentence is cultural authority. Level 6, learning. 15-minute daily skill block culture grows where capacity grows. Proverbs 4-7 urges, wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom. Daniel was promoted because an excellent spirit and knowledge distinguish him. Daniel 6-3, 117. Write this down. Learn, do, document, teach. Choose 1 skill relevant to your lab. Reading aloud, technique, spreadsheet basics, conflict scripts, first aid refreshers, grant searching, broom technique for corners. Put it on the calendar, 15 minutes at dawn or lunch. Practice immediately for 5 minutes. Log 1 insight in a simple notebook. On Friday, teach your insight to 1 person. If you can't teach it, you didn't learn it. Say it with me. I grow daily, my culture follows. Level 7, symbols and rituals, shared visuals, weekly huddles, the family table rituals, cement beliefs. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision and make it plain, that he may run who reads it. Deuteronomy 6-9 commands, write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Write this down. What is visible becomes viable. Post one page at each lab. Our 5 values: honor, excellence, truth, diligence, generosity, plus 3 standards beneath each. Add a symbol, a simple banner or sticker that says, we build here. Install weekly huddles, 10 minutes, same day, same hour. Home, table ritual we outlined. Work 5-minute stand-up with board. Street Saturday sweep and names board. Open with the same line. What fruit did we see? What one improvement do we install? Close with the same blessing. Speak identity and assignment. Repetition makes truth heavy enough to bend behavior. Your sign on the fence is not decoration, it is legislation. Let me father you a moment. You do not need permission to pull these levers. You need discipline. He who is faithful in little is faithful also in much. Luke 16:10. Faithfulness is a drum beat, not a drum solo. Don't announce a festival. Begin a rhythm. Who's the leader of this transformation? No one. And everyone. The language you speak leads. The time you keep leads. The floor you clean leads. The greeting you give leads. The problem you solve leads. The book you read leads. The ritual you repeat leads. And together, they conspire to make righteousness feel normal. So, write this down. Small levers, pull consistently, move big systems. Say it with me. Small levers, big shifts. Again, small levers, big shifts. This week, commit in writing. Which lever will you pull in each lab? Home language, work time, street service. Or choose your own, but choose. Put it on a card. Tape it to your mirror. Set an alarm. Recruit one witness to hold you accountable. And measure fruit by Friday. How many complaints converted to proposals? How many on-time starts? How many tidy resets? How many names honored? How many problems solved? How many skill blocks completed? How many rituals kept? Matthew 5:16 promises, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father. Light is visible order. Works are measurable levers. Glory is the city saying, thank God for these people. Say it loud. Like ambassadors who refuse to wait another week. We build here. We redeem time. We default to excellence. We honor by name. We serve with a towel. We grow daily. We write it and we repeat it. And as these small levers click into place, the engine of your community will hum, no fanfare, just fruit. Now we go to the lab. Plans with standards and measurements turn noble values into visible culture. Write this down. Plans are how vision enters the calendar. Standards are how values enter behavior. Metrics are how truth enters the conversation. Luke 14:28 asks, which of you intending to build a tower does not sit down first and count the cost? Planning is kingdom. Counting is kingdom. Standards are kingdom. And if you will stop playing vague and start planning precise, your street will feel the difference in 30 days. Say it with me. I lead by serving a plan. Workplace play 30-day excellence sprint. Colossians 3:23 commands. Whatever you do, do it heartily as unto the Lord. Excellence is not a feeling. It is a standard made visible. Step 1. Establish your 3 standards. Choose them by pain. Where are you bleeding? Time, handoffs, communication? Write this down. Pick 3 and post them. Time integrity meetings start on the dot. End 5 minutes early. Decisions captured. Clean handoff. Every task passed with a clear definition of done, owner, and deadline. Clarity of communication subject tags. Action, info, do, bullet points, one-screen emails, response time rules. Post these above your visual board. Proverbs 27:23 says, be diligent to know the state of your flocks. Your flock is your workflow. Know it. Step 2, daily stand-up. 10 minutes, same place, same time. 3 rounds, only 1 win, 1 priority, 1 roadblock. No storytelling. Use the builder sentence. The problem is, the evidence is, my proposal is, I can lead, I need, appoint a timekeeper and a scribe. Step 3, Make it visible. 3 columns on the wall. To do, doing, done right. Put names on cards. Add a metrics corner titled defects, delays, and delight. Defects, number of reworks or errors. Delays, tasks missing deadline by more than 1 day. Delight, unsolicited thanks or 5-star ratings from internal clients. Count daily. Review weekly. Step 4, weekly Kaizen, 20 minutes Friday. Open with the line you now know. What fruit did we see? What one improvement do we install? Choose 1 root cause. Run 5 whys. Install 1 micro change. Assign an owner. Set a date. Write this down. Change 1 thing weekly, not 15 things weekly. Example from a shipping desk I visited. Baseline week. They logged 9 defects, 6 delays, and 1 delight. Week 1, they installed standard one-time integrity. Meeting started on time. Pickup scheduled earlier by 15 minutes. Results, defects 7, delays 3, delights 2. Week 2, they enforced clean handoffs with a checklist taped to every box, address, verified, weight recorded, photo taken, signature captured. Defects dropped to 3, delights rose to 5. Week 3, clarity of communication subject tags and a same-day response rule for urgent tickets. Delays fell to 1, delights hit 8, no new budget, just standards and measurement. Write this down. What you standardize, you will sustain. What you measure, you will multiply. Tough love. Stop waiting for authorization. Excellence is its own authorization. Nehemiah didn't beg Sanballat to like his wall. He numbered the gates, assigned sections, and measured progress. He had names on stones. Put names on tasks. Say it with me. I lead by serving a plan. Family prayed 21-day language fast. Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Ephesians 4:29 adds, let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but what is good for edifying, that it may minister grace. For 21 days, we are going to starve death and feed life. Step 1, the fast. Post a sign on the fridge. No complaining without a proposal. Replace they always with here's the problem. Here's my build. Install a gratitude round at dinner. Each person names 1 grace and 1 person to thank from that day. Step 2, the script. Teach a replacement sentence. I feel, when, because, next time I propose. Put it on a card for the little ones. Step 3, the jar. Every complaint without a proposal pays 1 token. At the end of the week, tokens fund Friday's Fix It, or a family generosity act, cookies for the neighbor, a card for an elder. Step 4, shared chore chart. Assign daily 10-minute resets, dishes, floors, surfaces, trash. Post names and check boxes. Measure 2 things, words replaced and tasks completed. Words replaced. Tally each time someone pivots from gripe to build. Task completed. Boxes checked before bedtime. Deuteronomy 6-7 says, teach diligently when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way. That's dailiness ritual, not revival. I coached a family that started with an average of 31 raw complaints per day. Yes, they counted, and only half the chores done. By day 7, complaints dropped to 15. Words replaced rose to 12. Chores completed hit 80%. By day 21, they logged 5 complaints, 21 replacements, and a 95% completion rate. You could feel the air. Even the 8-year-old said, we're nicer now. Why? Write this down. Language is the thermostat of the house. Chores are the floor of dignity. End each night with the blessing. Speak identity over every child. You are diligent. You are truthful. You are a leader. Count it. Celebrate it. Chart it. Measure grace. Again, say it with me. I lead by serving a plan. Neighborhood, pray block, beautification, and belonging. Jeremiah 29-7 instructs, seek the peace of the city, for in its peace you will have peace. Peace is not poetry. It is policy at the mailbox. Step 1, map assets. Walk your 5-house rule and list names, skills, tools, and needs. Miss June knows every birthday. Carlos has a drill. Priya is a nurse. Malik is strong. Mrs. Lee has a hose. The church has cones. Mark eyesores. the alleys, the weedy tree beds, the dim lamp. Step 2, form a 2-hour Saturday crew, 8 to 10 a.m., every first and third Saturday. Supplies, brooms, bags, gloves, paint for curbs, a cooler of water, assign roles, sweepers, baggers, curb painters, kids chalk team, safety lead wears a vest. Take a before photo at 8 and after at 9:55. Track 3 metrics: bags of litter collected, tree beds cleared, and lights reported or replaced. Step 3, monthly porch night. First Friday, 7 to 8:30 p.m. Bring chairs to the sidewalk. Name tags, a kid's circle with chalk, and a storyteller. A board that says standards of our street. We greet, we keep clean, we protect children, we start on time, we return lost items, pray briefly, 30 seconds of thanks. Share one neighborhood win and one next improvement. Proverbs 11:11 says, by the blessing of the upright, the city is exalted. Your porch is a pulpit, your broom is a blessing. In a block I visited, Baseline Sweep gathered 14 bags of trash. Only 9 neighbors joined. 3 lights were out. After 2 cycles and 1 porch night, the third sweep collected 6 bags. 19 neighbors joined. All 3 lights reported and repaired. Kids drew a chalk crosswalk at the corner. Traffic slowed because dignity was visible. A retired artist painted the traffic box, "Honor lives here." It became a landmark, not a shortcut for trouble. Nehemiah 2:18, they said, "Let us rise up and build." So they strengthened their hands for this good work. How did they strengthen hands? With a plan, sections, and names. Write this down. Community is built in name sections with measured progress. Now hear the governing sentence again, and write it big. What you standardize, you will sustain. What you measure, you will multiply. Proverbs 22:29 promises, do you see a man skilled in his work? He will stand before kings. Skill is standard plus repetition under measurement. Stop wishing, start weighing. Stop hoping, start counting. Say it with me. I lead by serving a plan. So here is your activation. Choose one paper lab and put it on paper tonight. Workplace, 3 standards. Daily 10-minute stand-up, weekly metrics. Defects, delays, delight. Family, 21-day language, fast, gratitude, round, chore chart, tally words, replace and task completed. Neighborhood asset map. 2-hour Saturday crew, monthly porch night, track bags, names and lights. Schedule it, print it, post it. Open every huddle with the same line. What fruit did we see? What one improvement do we install? Close with the same blessing. Speak identity and assignment. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision and make it plain, that he may run who reads it. Make it plain, then run. Who's the leader here? No one and everyone. Plans in the hands of servants become movements. And your city will start calling it culture when your measurements become their memories of how life feels on your block. Prayer aims the heart. Projects move the culture. Write this down. James 2:17 says, faith without works is dead. I add the sentence for builders. Faith without works is dead culture. Some of you have been hiding in prayer meetings, asking God to do what he gave you authority to start. Nehemiah prayed, yes, but then he asked for letters, timber, and time, and he numbered gates and assigned sections. He prayed, he planned, he progressed. In Exodus 14:15, God shocks Moses. Why do you cry to me? Tell the Israelites to go forward. Sometimes heaven says, move. Say it with me. Prayer fuels, projects, move. We are going to convert prayer energy into project momentum. Repeat out loud. I convert prayer energy into project momentum. Again, with conviction, I convert prayer energy into project momentum. Proverbs 16:3 says, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. God does not establish wishes. He establishes plans. Write this down. Stop asking for harvest where you haven't sown systems. You don't reap order from hope. You reap order from habits under measurement. Here is our 90-day deployment map. 30 days prototype. 30 days stabilize. 30 days multiply. Review weekly. Who's the leader? No one. And everyone. Every micro ecosystem. has a steward team, not a celebrity. That's kingdom. First 30, prototype. Choose one lab, work, family, or street, and one problem you will solve visibly. Install 3 standards only, the same we practiced: time, integrity, excellence, baseline, and an honor protocol. Schedule a daily 10-minute stand-up, same place, same time. Put up a visible board. Start counting fruit from day 1. Don't announce, begin. Pray specific at dawn. Wisdom, favor, laborers. And then take your broom, your agenda, your checklist, like Nehemiah 2-4. Shoot a prayer, then answer the king. Write this down. Prototype fast. Learn loud. Change weekly. Monday, baseline. Tuesday to Thursday, pull 1 lever. Friday, Kaizen. For 20 minutes, what fruit did we see? What one improvement did we install? Second 30, stabilize. Document what worked. Codify your 3 standards into a 1-page play. Train a backup for every role. Reduce variance. Hit predictable results. If you gathered 14 bags week 1 and 6 bags week 3, your stabilized goal is keep it under 7 every week for 4 weeks. If defects drop from 9 to 3, your stabilized goal is sustain 3 or fewer while delight rises. Proverbs 27-23 says, be diligent to know the state of your flocks. Your flock is your flow. Put names on duties. Lock the rhythm. Stand up daily. Scoreboard update daily. Improvement weekly. Porch night or team retro monthly. Stabilization is when excellence becomes boring and repeatable. Third 30, multiply. Identify 1 new cell to launch. A second desk at work using your play. A cousin's kitchen using your family language fast. The next block using your Saturday sweep protocol. Appoint a seed team of 2 from your stabilized cell to mentor the new one. Package the play. 1-page standards, 1-page roles, 1-page measures. Install the same board. Begin with your presence. End with their ownership. Luke 10-1 says, the Lord appointed 72 others and sent them 2 by 2 into every town. 2 by 2 is not cute. It is culture insurance. Accountability now. Write this down. The kingdom deploys in pairs with roles and with public scoreboards. 2 by 2 teams. 1 lead steward, 1 data steward. Lead steward drives the cadence, starts on time, keeps agenda, assigns owners. Data steward counts fruit, updates the wall, sends the weekly report. In some labs, add a care. Steward greets by name, God's honor. And an ops steward, tools, supplies, safety. Nobody famous, everybody functional. Who's the leader? No one, and everyone. Public scoreboard pressure creates progress. Put the board where eyes must meet it. Columns. Our 3 standards. Our 3 metrics. Our weekly improvement. At work, defects, delays, delight. At home, words, replaced, resets, completed, gratitudes, shared. On the street, bags, names, lights, color it, date it, sign it. When numbers are visible, excuses become shy. 2 Corinthians 8:21 says, we are taking pains to do what is right, not only in the eyes of the Lord, but also in the eyes of man. Visibility is integrity's ally. Don't spiritualize secrecy. Publish your fruit. Weekly review rhythm. Non-negotiable, 20 to 30 minutes, same day, same hour. Open with thanks, 30 seconds of prayer. Acts 3. What fruit did we see? What missed the mark? What 1 improvement do we install? Assign an owner. Date it. Post it. Close by. Blessing identity. Speak over your team, your children, your block. Acts 2 did not survive on wind and fire. Verse 42 says, they continued steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine and fellowship, in the breaking of bread, and in prayers. That's structure. That's system. That's sustainability. Let me confront you with love. Some of you keep a long prayer list and an empty project board. You quote promises and postpone practice. You ask God to change a street, you won't sweep. You ask for favor on a job, you won't standardize. You want kings to call, but you won't log defects and delight. Write this down. Heaven honors order. Order honors time. Time honors people. People honor culture. And culture honors the king. Vision without a calendar is fantasy. Prayer without a plan is delay. Leadership is born when toleration ends. So stop tolerating your own vagueness. So, in the next 5 minutes after this session, decide your 90-day lab and post the first stand-up time. Text one person to be your 2x2. Assign roles. Build a board. Pray this simple prayer each dawn. Father, give me wisdom, favor, and faithful hands today. Then move. Open your board. Start the clock. Count your fruit. Touch your broom. Speak your honor. Close with gratitude. Repeat tomorrow. By day 7, you will feel the air shift. By day 30, you will have a prototype that breathes. By day 60, you will have stability that speaks. By day 90, you will have multiplication that sings. Say it with me. Like people who refuse to spend another month circling the same mountain. Deuteronomy 1-6. You have stayed long enough at this mountain. Now say it. I convert prayer energy into project momentum. Again, louder. I convert prayer energy into project momentum. Prayer aims my heart. Projects move my culture. And when your culture moves, your city will notice, not because you shouted, but because you shipped. Not because you begged, but because you built. Not because you had a title, but because you had fruit. Now we talk scale and staying power. Write this down. What you don't measure, you cannot manage. And what you cannot manage, you will not multiply. Jesus said, by their fruits you shall know them, Matthew 7:20. Not by their flyers, not by their titles. Fruits. So fruit is our first law of scale. Define it, count it, publish it. In every lab, home, work, street, fruit is value delivered. Track 3 categories this week and every week. Problem solved, people served, standards kept. Problem solved are measurable closures, leaks fixed, defects reduced, conflicts resolved. People served are tangible touches, names greeted, families helped, children protected, internal clients delighted. Standards kept are your non-negotiables, honored, on-time starts, tidy resets, honor protocols executed. John 15:8 reads, by this my Father is glorified, that you bear much fruit, so shall you be my disciples. Write this down. Much fruit, not much noise at work. Keep the 3 you started. Defects, delays, delight. And add 1 sustainability metric. Rhythm kept. Rhythm kept is the number of days you held your stand-up, updated your board, and delivered the weekly improvement. Home. Your fruit is words replaced, resets completed, gratitudes shared, and also conflicts resolved using the script. On the street, it is bags collected, names known, lights repaired, and also return rate. How many who came once returned? Why return rate? Because culture is sticky when dignity is present. Psalm 1 says, a tree planted by rivers brings forth its fruit in its season. Its leaf also shall not wither. Consistency is a river. Make your metrics a river. Now, write this down. Bold. Vision is more important than leadership. Say it with me. Vision is more important than leadership. Leadership is transportation. Vision is destination. If the blind lead the blind, both fall into a ditch. Matthew 15:14. That means the vehicle is irrelevant without a picture. As you scale, keep the picture clear. A neighborhood where greeting is normal. Floors preach excellence. Time communicates honor. And generosity is expected. Keep 5 sentences that paint your future and read them at every huddle. Habakkuk 2:2. Write the vision and make it plain, that he may run who reads it. Your runners are your builders. Give them the picture and they will find the path. Second law of scale. Mentor a pipeline. Paul told Timothy, the things you have heard from me, entrust to reliable people who will also be qualified to teach others. 2 Timothy 2:2. That is 4 generations in one verse. Paul, Timothy, reliable people, others. Write this down. Leaders don't seek followers. They spawn leaders. Who do you mentor? Spot doers, not talkers. Look for 3 signs. They arrive early, they update the scoreboard without being asked, and they turn complaints into proposals. Pull them close for a 30-day builder track. Week 1, observe and journal. Have them shadow you, counting fruit and noting standards. Week 2, Co-lead, give them half the stand-up. They run the timer and the honor protocol. Week 3, lead under watch. Let them run the entire cadence while you watch and debrief. Week 4, teach what you learned. Assign them to train one new person using the one-page play. Exodus 18 is your pattern. Jethro told Moses to appoint leaders of thousands, hundreds, 50s, and 10s. Why 10s first? Because culture is learned at small tables. Who's the leader? No one. And everyone, the more you multiply, the less you centralize. Write this down. Release ownership as soon as standards are kept and fruit is sustained. Don't hold the steering wheel because of your insecurity. That's not leadership. That's idolatry of self. Luke 16:10 says, he who is faithful in little is faithful also in much. When a builder keeps rhythm for 4 straight weeks and hits target fruit, give them the set keys to the shed, access to the board, and authority to run the ritual. Stay available, not invasive. Mentors are guardrails, not backseat drivers. Third law of scale. Replicate by design, not drift. Document the ritual. Package the tools. Plant the cell. You already have the bones. Put them in a box. We call it the Build-A-Go kit. What's inside? 1-page vision, 1-page standards, 1-page roles, 1-page measures, the honor scripts, the meeting agenda, and a simple supply list, brooms, bags, tape, markers, name tags, and a laminated defects, delays, delight sheet, or its home street equivalent. Label a plastic bin. We build here sell kit. That bin is a seed. When you carry a seed, you are dangerous to decay. Here's your replication rhythm, aligned to our 90-day cycle. Prototype for 30 with your first cell. Stabilize for 30. Then at day 60, identify your seed team of 2 to plant the next cell at day 90. Send them 2 by 2 like Luke 10-1. Week 1 in the new location, your seed team is present and leading. Week 2, they co-lead with a local steward. Week 3, the local steward leads with seed team watching. Week 4, the local steward teaches another. You are not growing crowds, you are growing cells. Jesus did not keep the 72 at his feet. He sent them to feet that needed shoes. Write this down. Multiplication happens when the teacher becomes a map and the student becomes a road. Tough love. Stop counting likes. Count lights repaired. Stop announcing visions. Standardize victories. Stop hoarding roles. Hand them to faithful hands. Whoever gives one of these little ones a cup of cold water will by no means lose his reward. Matthew 10:42. Cup to city. A cup is a unit of service. Count cups. Then cluster cups into cells. Then cluster cells into zones. 4 cells make a cluster. 3 clusters make a sector. 4 sectors shift a district. Districts conspire to tip a city. But the DNA must remain small, simple, and standard. A $4 wire can shut the whole engine down. So guard the wire, your rituals. Start on time. Speak honor. Count fruit. Install 1 improvement weekly. If drift appears, go back to the play. Write this down. Publish your fruit. Every cell sends a weekly report, 3 numbers. 1 story, 1 improvement. Numbers, problem solved, people served, standards kept. Story 1, testimony of dignity restored. Improvement, 1 change installed with owner and date. Post reports in a common channel or a corkboard at the church or community center. 2 Corinthians 8:21 says, we take pains to do what is right in the eyes of man. Visibility disciplines vanity and inspires imitation. When a home sees another home cut complaints from 30 to 5, they believe it is possible. When a block sees another block repair 3 lights, they ask for the play. Guard the vision while you decentralize the power. Say it again. Vision is more important than leadership. Keep the picture clear and you can afford to let go of the wheel. Who's the leader? No one. And everyone. The more you multiply, the less you centralize. Your job is what they pay you to do. Your work is what you were born to do. Your work now is to spawn builders who carry the picture and the play without waiting for your permission. If they fire you, your gift goes with you. If you move houses, your culture goes with you. If one cell slows, another surges. Because the life is in the seed, not in your hand. Activation right now. Write this down. Fruit, mentors, multipliers. Before midnight, do 3 things. 1, build your fruit dashboard for the next 4 weeks in each lab. The 3 metrics, the weekly target, and the place you will publish it. 2, name your 3 potential builders and text each one an invite to the 30-day builder track. The text is simple. I see builder in you. 4 weeks, I will teach you the play. We start Monday at 7:30 a.m. 3 assemble 1 builder go kit and place it by the door. When the kit is packed, your mind is primed for multiplication. Proverbs 22:29 declares, do you see a man skilled in his work? He will stand before kings. Skill is standard under repetition. Fruit is proof under pressure. Multiplication is wisdom under vision. Say it with me. Like people who refuse to die big in their heads and small in their neighborhoods, I measure fruit. I mentor builders. I multiply cells. Again, I measure fruit. I mentor builders. I multiply cells. Genesis 1:28 is still the first mandate. Be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth. Subdue it. Have dominion. Fruit first, then multiply. That is the order of the kingdom. And when clusters of fruiting cells begin to echo across your city, mayors will notice, principals will call, and grandmothers will smile because righteousness will feel normal on your street. Cup to city. Start counting. Start training. Start planting. And do not stop until the picture you carry begins to carry you. Now we seal this. We don't end a session like this with applause. We end with assignment. You are not an accident. You are an assignment to your community. Say it with me. I am an assignment. You were born for this hour, on this street, in this shop, in this school. Jesus said in John 20:21, as the Father has sent me, I also send you. This is your sending moment. No microphone, no title, only a picture, a play, and a promise. Write this down. Commissioning is permission to become what heaven already saw. Identity first, out loud, because your mouth is the pen that writes on your heart. Say it with me. The world needs me. My gift serves my city. I don't complain about culture. I build culture. Again, like you mean it, the world needs me. My gift serves my city. I don't complain about culture. I build culture. Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. You have used your tongue to describe decay. Now you will use it to decree design. Genesis 1:26 is still the manufacturer's specification. Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion. The Hebrew word rod, write it down, means to rule by responsible stewardship, not by noise. Today you stop making noise and start making norms. Write this down bold. You will never become a true leader until you are introduced to yourself. Today, meet the builder in you. Not the employee, not the volunteer who waits to be asked. The builder, the person, heaven hid in your spirit, loaded with a gift that solves something specific. Your job is what they pay you to do. Your work is what you were born to do. Some of you have been unemployed in your gift while overworked in your job. Not after tonight. Romans 12:2 says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Transformation is internal construction. You are under renovation to become a renovator. Isaiah 61:4 saw you. They shall rebuild the old ruins. They shall raise up the former desolations. They shall repair the ruined cities. Write your name after they. You are the they. Leadership tolerates no delay. Say it. Leadership tolerates no delay. So here is your commitment. Within 24 hours, choose one lever, one plan, one partner. One lever, one culture practice you will install immediately in your lab. One plan, one page with standards, roles, and measures. One partner, your 2x2 for cadence and accountability. By this time tomorrow, you will have started. Exodus 14:15 is still shouting, why do you cry to me? Tell the Israelites to go forward. Forward is a verb. Start is a law. If it's not on your calendar, it's not in your culture, write this down. The 2 4-hour rule breaks the spirit of procrastination. Public pledge now, because visibility creates velocity. Before the sun sets tomorrow, text 3 people your 90-day objective. Not a paragraph. One clear sentence with 3 numbers attached. Example, in 90 days, our block will cut weekly trash from 20 bags to 8, greet 50 names by memory, and repair 4 lights. Send it to a supervisor, a friend, and a skeptic. Why a skeptic? Because Goliath is a motivator when you believe you are David. Proverbs 27:17 says, iron sharpens iron. And James 5:16 adds, confess your faults one to another that you may be healed. Confession brings healing. Disclosure brings momentum. 2 Corinthians 8:21 says, we take pains to do what is right, also in the eyes of man. Publish your intent. Let your city hold you to it. Now decrees for your hands. Repeat after me. I speak it, I start it, I share it, I sustain it. Again, I speak it, I start it, I share it, I sustain it. Speak it because faith comes by hearing. Start it because faith without works is dead. Share it because culture is a team sport. Sustain it because fruit reveals discipleship. Matthew 7:20, by their fruits you shall know them, not by their flyers. By their fruits. Write this down. Vision is more important than leadership. The car is useless without a destination. Keep the picture plain. Read it at every stand-up. If the blind lead the blind, both fall into a ditch. Matthew 15:14. But when the seeing serve the simple, streets begin to sing. Tough love before the blessing. Whatever you tolerate, you will never change. Some of you have tolerated your excuses like pets. You feed them reasons and walk them every morning. Kill them kindly tonight. Replace them with rituals. Start on time. Speak honor. Count fruit. Install one improvement weekly. Who's the leader? No one. And everyone. You don't need permission from a title. You need obedience to a picture. Trapped in every follower is a hidden leader. Today the trap opens. Lift your hands where you are and receive this commissioning. In the name of the King, the Lord Jesus Christ, who said, the kingdom of God is within you. Luke 17:21. I commission you as builders of kingdom culture. I declare over you Joshua 1:9. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. I bless your mind with clarity, your heart with courage, your hands with skill, and your feet with speed. I bless your homes to become embassies, your desks to become altars of excellence, your streets to become classrooms of dignity. I authorize you to colonize by values, righteousness, peace, and joy in the Holy Spirit. Romans 14:17, until they become the new normal. You are salt that refuses to dissolve and light that refuses to dim. Matthew 5:13-16. When you enter a room, confusion will lose its chair. When you set a standard, apathy will pack its bags. Now, practical seal. Place your hand on your heart and say, I am deployed. Again, I am deployed. One more time, like it's already happened on your street. I am deployed. Employment may end. Deployment cannot be fired. If they move you, the culture travels with you, because the life is in the seed, not in your hand. Go 2 by 2. Go with a picture. Go with a play. Go with a public scoreboard. Text 3 people. Post your start time. Pack your builder go kit. Then step out your door and begin. Final decree. Say it with me. The world needs me. My gift serves my city. I don't complain about culture. I build culture. I speak it. I start it. I share it. I sustain it. Be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth. Subdue it. Have dominion. Genesis 1:28. Fruit first, then multiply. This is the order of the kingdom. May the grace of the Lord accelerate you. May wisdom steady you. And may favor open doors you did not know had hinges. You are sent. You are seen. You are necessary. Go now and let your culture preach louder than your mouth.